Hey guys, Harv here, and welcome back to Space Tourism. This is episode 19, and oddly enough, I've already recorded this episode. Well, I think, if that makes any sense. I think I've already commentated this, but I can't be sure, because I've just gone and made episode 20 afterwards, and going back I found I haven't actually made this video yet. Which is a bit awkward, because I have the foreknowledge of what happens in the next episode, and I kind of have to avoid talking about that episode at all costs. Unfortunately, I've already failed to do so. But anyway, it doesn't really matter when you have extremely high and loud music. Let's just turn that down. There we go. This is episode 19, and in this episode we are going to be sending our 2 fuel canisters out to Jool, because in the previous episode, long as that was ago for me, I think we didn't succeed in doing so. It was something to do with the fuel lines, which weren't connected. And as a result, we've just added on some fuel lines, now launched the rocket up, drop those boosters, drop those tanks, get into orbit and drop some more tanks until we are ready to do our transfer. Yes, this is the new version of orbiting, the quick edit kind of thingamajobby. Get our transfer node set up, and if we reach it out, we can just about get an encounter. There we go, excellent. So, we're going to be sending out these 2 craft, and over the course of several attempts we're going to be docking them, and then we are going to be docking our spaceplane, or refueling our spaceplane with them. And we'll see what happens from there. So, I swear I've commentated this before. I remember specifically pointing out the fact that just then a crash happened and something and explosions and continue. I can't, maybe I've overwritten the file. This is nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. You know what? I just got to go with it, because the creation of this video right now is holding up all the rest of the videos. Because episode 20 has been recorded, and episode... actually no, career mode is different series, that doesn't really matter. But anyway, episode 20 has been made and I can't release it until I've recorded this. So, episode 19, here we go. We are getting out to Jool. We just need to bring our trajectory down. Now, usually what I do when I commentate is I have some foreknowledge of what's going to happen in the episode, obviously because I've probably just come off from recording it, and I use that to give myself more conversation topics, so I can lead up to something that's going to happen. I can drop the occasional hints there, here and there. But because it's been so long since this episode was recorded, I really can't remember that much, other than how many attempts it takes to actually do this mission, which you shall see shortly. Now we're here in the Jool sphere of influence, and we have set our target as Lathe, and we are raising our trajectory up to try and get that encounter. Currently burning... Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's an encounter with Tylo. Okay, interesting. An encounter with Tylo. Well, we can visit Tylo, you know. You can see the maneuver nodes here, the blue dials getting closer, and that is an encounter, but we can't see quite the predictions because of our Tylo pass. What I really need to do is upgrade my Conics patch system, which is you can go to configs file and change how many sphere of influences ahead your trajectory is plotted. Do it too much and the calculations will blow up your computer. Do it too little and you may not be prepared for what comes. So there's our pass via Tylo. Hello, goodbye. And we get our encounter. Now we can see exactly what our trajectory is. So getting closer, having adjusted it somewhat, we bring it down. We have a periapsis currently of 70 kilometers. We want to probably take that down to maybe 19. There's actually a program or an online software called KSP Aerodynamic System thingamajibby. And what it essentially consists of is you tell it your orbital velocity, you tell it your altitude, and your current periapsis. And it calculates the required periapsis you need to aero capture even, to get into a specific orbital altitude. It's quite useful, but to use it properly, you have to give it exact readings. You need to give it exact information, otherwise it doesn't get it wrong. It gets it wrong and you have to do it all over again. So use it, good thing, just search it, KSP Aerobraking in Google, and use it, but make sure you quick save before using it, because you can't guarantee it'll work first time. Anyway, we did our aerobraking. Unfortunately, I didn't record the footage of the burning up in the atmosphere, which is usually quite a nice way to break up the monotony of space and lines. Unfortunately, this isn't the case, so we're just going to watch some things whiz around in their orbital baths. One of which is our refueling pad canisters. Ah, yes, we were time warping. We were time warping to get our landing site into the daytime, so we can actually see something of what we're doing. And from here, now it is time to land. So, our interplanetary stage still has quite a lot of fuel remaining. The reason I gave it its own probe and I gave it its own docking ports and RCS and everything, the reason for that was that I thought there may be sufficient fuel left to actually park it in orbit. And to use it as a refueling pad, add it on to the space station we have going in orbit around Lathe currently. But no, I decided it would be better put to use trying to navigate as we fall down towards the planet. It doesn't really help, but it was a nice thought anyway. So, you can see our trajectory there. Bringing it up, trying to aim exactly for this position. And it doesn't help that okay, for some reason I quick saved there. That actually looked quite good. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, quick load. Attempt number 2 because of premature quick loading. Yeah, originally I was going to say words. I had a conversation topic all lined up and then I ruined it. I think I said at some point that, oh yes, I said at some point that the base is probably in the worst location I could find. Actually, to be honest, Lathe is pretty much all the same. It's a very narrow strip of land, which is very hilly, with ocean either side. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We drop down the canisters, we open up parachutes on both after letting them get a significant distance away from each other so that they don't collide with each other when that happens. And then we let them float down. And it should be nice and easy. There are 6 parachutes per vessel. There is a relatively low acceleration due to gravity because this is a moon after all. And, you know, there's not an awful lot of mass there, just 1 tank each. Unfortunately, the atmospheric density on Lathe is still particularly low. And this means that they land, all the wheels break. And, okay, nothing else seems to have broken. Alright. Okay, well, I guess we can go from here then. Or is that... No. Ah, yes, see, the more observant of you, or alternatively those who have watched the live stream, may have noticed the mistake I've just made. And I'm continuing to make at this point in time. Excuse me whilst I sneeze. Oh, I'm not sneezing. Damn it, you know when you get that feeling that you need to sneeze and then you... just doesn't quite happen? Yeah, that's just happened to me. Ah, really annoying because my nose is like kind of itchy on the inside. Anyway, what happened here? Something. Yes, we've landed our canisters successfully, in open quotes, and now it is time to go fix their wheels, because of course they can't drive over here without functioning wheels. This is why we have Jebediah Kerman, nicknamed as Repairman Jeb. He's down on the surface, and in one of these containers. The question is which? I'm driving around this thing to the other side, which is kind of pointless considering the fact that I believe he's actually in the center container, which means that it would have been quicker for him to just jump onto the buggy from the left-hand side rather than going to the right as we are doing right now. However, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter all that much. Buggy comes over here, we walk over to it, and we go around the front for whatever reason. There we go, Jebediah, come on. Trying to get into the seats doesn't quite happen. Gotta go around to the back and open up the ladder. Yes, Jeb, that's why there's a ladder there. I know you don't like tame, menial activities. This is the reason why you're here. After blowing up so many rockets, you've been exiled to Lathe to work as a repairman for wheels. That is your only function in life, your only purpose. It's punishment. Bill and Bob are up there in a spaceship somewhere. Actually, Bill and Bob are enjoying themselves in orbit around Jool. I say enjoying themselves, they've been there for 12 years, nearly. Yeah, well, put it this way, okay? In episode 20, it will have been 12 years. And I'll remark upon that fact, so you have that to look forward to. This pre-post commentary timey-wimey nonsense is really getting to me. Anyway, after some rovering, or whatever the verb for that is in the space game, we get Jebediah Kerman out here to his various rovers, come to supply Max Kerman with the fuel he needs to get the SSTO up into orbit. Repairing the wheels, running around, repairing more wheels. everyday job in Jebediah Kerman's life. Running to the other one now, and it doesn't seem like there's anything else that's been broken, just the wheels, which if you think about it is quite fortunate because when they landed, they did seem to come down quite hard. Not even the docking ports have been broken, so it's really quite a blessing that it actually has been this successful. And it was only the second attempt, I think, yeah. It was the second attempt, and we managed to get them down perfectly fine. That mistake I mentioned is still going on right now. So, I'll get round back to my buggy, open up the ladder, and we shall proceed. Now, at this point, I want to talk about something because I want this news to reach you as soon as possible. Actually, no. No, I don't need to, actually. No. There's actually no point in saying that. I don't want to repeat the information. It's already been said in episode 20. So look forward to episode 20, the much acclaimed episode 20, in which so many references that I'll be making to it in this episode will be revealed. And the version of Harv that commentated episode 20 will have no idea that any of this has ever happened because I was blissfully unaware as to the circumstance of the commentating of this video. Anyway, what mistake was I made, you may have been wondering since I first mentioned it. Well, the mistake was really quite simple. I didn't quick save. Yeah, I didn't quick save. So having quick loaded back up to orbit about an hour previously, it's now time to bring our brave canisters back down to the surface of Lave. And guess what happens this time? A lot of bad things. So, tearing through the atmosphere, bringing ourselves down, this one looks perfect, we're just about to land on the thing. Okay, we may have slightly overshot, but no matter. Open up the parachutes, detach, open up the parachutes again. Look at that sight, that view. Really, really is quite nice. Oh look, we're over the ocean. May have overshot very, very slightly. Now, ideally, I'd like to get both canisters surviving this. That proves to be more hardship than it's necessarily worth, and we'll see what happens as a result of this. Second attempt, burning retrograde, furiously trying not to overshoot. Unfortunately, I made the same mistakes I did last time, and this one succumbs to the temptation of the water. It seems. Or does it? No, actually no, we're still on land. Okay, we have a shot at doing this. We're still on land. It's quite hilly below us, but that should be okay. Parachutes jerk open. Can see the other canister over there. And as we get down close to the ground, we have a perfect touchdown, and then breakdancing. For some reason. I'm not pressing the controls at this point. This was entirely its own fault. Have a look up at the hill, and we can't see the other canister, probably because it's spontaneously combusted. Moving on to attempt number Huzzer. Detach, parachutes, go on, work, finally. This period was over about half an hour, I believe, of work. And we seem to have overshot again. I don't know what it was with me. Why didn't I just adjust the trajectory somewhat? Have some undershoots, at least to break up the monotony of watching the same footage, essentially the same footage over and over again. But whatever the case, bring the rovers down, rover/canisters, this time even worse on the hill, and yep, and explosions, and bang. Ah, if only I'd quick saved the first time. If only I'd quick saved the first time. Is this the one? Is this the final attempt? Bringing it down sideways, I must have adjusted my orbit by now. I must have realised what was going wrong. No, it doesn't seem I have. Frantically trying to burn retrograde. Trying desperately not to overshoot. Why? Why, Harvey? What's wrong with you? Gah. This person, eh? This guy. Never learns from his mistakes. Detach, parachutes, and you know what? I think we'll get the idea. Past me, who edited this. That one didn't go so well. Attempt number Huzzer. Maybe attempt number 19, who knows? Wouldn't that be fortuitous? This time, having realised my steak, it was very tender and very juicy and actually medium rare, quite nice. Having realised my mistake, I undershoot, very slightly. But luckily the ground here is quite level, so this should go okay. So we land, and we get down perfectly fine until a single docking port breaks. And I put the brakes on for this one, and that seems to be okay. Okay, right. So one docking port on this is broken. Okay, we can deal with that. Maybe I quick save, which means there's no going back now, there's no going into orbit. And I bring over the rover. And first of all, we'll go to this back canister over here and fix its wheels. Now, I put the brakes on. Absolutely certainly. Remember, we'll go to the first one, apparently. No, we're going to go to this one over here. This is the one that I put the brakes on. Well, hang on. This is the one that I put the brakes on? So, I didn't put the brakes on this one? Oh. Apparently not. Okay, quickly. Backwards, backwards, backwards. Reverse. It's not slowing us down, Captain. Brake then. Brake. Don't do that. It'll just make us flip over. That's a terrible idea. No, we seem to be working. Maybe not. Yeah, I didn't enable the motors. It's a good idea whenever you're launching canisters like this on top of a rocket. It's a good idea to disable the motors so that they're not constantly turning and using up electricity when you launch, because they're bound to the same keys that you use to orient your ship. However, it's also a good idea to remember to turn them back on, otherwise they have no resistance and you end up breaking everything. Now, I think, you know what, just screw it. I'll just use the one, and then I drive over here and it explodes. So, back to the quick load. Eventually I get the thing driven over, and eventually it arrives here at the SSTO, which at the end of the previous episode we managed to dock onto the pad. Now it is just one final time, one final piece to the puzzle of refueling a ground-based plane. Will it work? Will this rover succeed in docking onto the docking ports? Place your bets now. My bet, my personal bet, no. My realistic bet is that yes, otherwise the episode wouldn't have happened. The next episode, that is, episode 20, which I keep on going on about. So yes, we bring the docking port towards us by function of driving towards it. And we just need to slide over and just about get to connection. A lot of different jerking because you can't change the speed wheels go out on the fly. Which would have been nice, actually. It would be nice to have some sensitivity. I wonder if using a controller would do that. Oh, there we go! Docked! That was relatively painless. Okay. Well, one canister has been docked, and the other canister is presumably missing in action somewhere. I think it exploded, then I quick-saved for some unknowable reason. But we have one canister down on the ground safely, and surely that's enough. It's enough to refuel this SSTO, at least. However, in the next episode, I think we better send some more canisters, because when this thing inevitably lands, or more planes come and visit the base, we're going to want to have some way of refueling them. Indeed. So, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Space Tourism. A bit of a weird one for me to commentate, but fun nonetheless. Excuse me. And with that in mind, it's time to round off the video. What have we achieved? Well, in the entirety of this past 18 and something minutes that you've been watching, all we achieved was landing 2 canisters on the surface of this body and docking one of them, landing 2, breaking them both several times over, breaking one permanently and successfully docking one to the pad. This sets us up for getting the SSTO back into orbit next time, for landing more canisters back on the ground next time, for transferring more crew back down to our base next time. And with that in mind, I shall leave you to, what, play KSP? I don't know. Damn, that was a build-up. That was dramatic. That was, you know, my voice getting louder and doing the commentating until I had nothing to finish it off with. I guess I'll just end the video. Is there anything else I want to say? No. No, I actually think I would just want to let you watch episode 20. Hopefully videos will remain, or will increase in their consistency, seeing as I do have quite a few queued up to upload. That's about it. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Space Tourism, and I shall see you all next time.